Hi, broadcasting not live from a small town near Guadalajara. I'm Bill the Geek, and this is the Bill Dallas Lewis channel. On the Bill Dallas Lewis channel, we make videos about the joys of living in Mexico. We travel Mexico, show you all kinds of good stuff. Thank you for visiting. We were doing a live video just the other day, and someone said, hey, could you do a video about gated communities in Mexico? I said, okay. I lived in a gated community in Chapala for 4 years. And in this video, we're going to talk about what I found to be were the pros and the cons of living in a gated community in Chapala, Mexico. There are many of them in the Chapala Ajijic area, and I have visited gated communities in Guadalajara also. I'm going to show you some shots of the community that I lived in, and I'm going to start out talking about the pros of living in a gated community. And I have about 15 pros, maybe 20 pros, and then we're going to switch over to the cons. Right off the bat, one of the main forms of pros about living in our gated community was security. There were 2 entrances, and there were security guards at these entrances 24/7. The security guards were watching videos from video cameras that were positioned all around the community, and to get in through the gate, you had to have business in the community, or someone in the community had to contact the gate to let them know that you were coming in. It was supposed to be a very secure environment. Many times the environment was very quiet. Many times it was not. You're going to see some video shots from my drone. You're going to see that it's like living in another world. You can see that it's a very clean environment. Lots of yards, lots of grass, lots of nice houses. Most of the people, I'm going to say 85% of the people in our community had owned their houses, maybe 15% rented, and it was a mixed community. There were many Canadians, many Americans, but mostly Mexican nationals. Many of the people in the community were retired. Many of the people were working people. One of our neighbors was a Mexican national, and he was a pilot for a major Mexican airline. Our neighbor across the street was a Mexican national that worked for a major telephone company in Mexico. He lived there with his wife and his 2 children, and he would take his kids to school every day. There was very little traffic. There was like no traffic, and the community itself was very large. It was great for taking bike rides all around the community, for taking walks all around the community. You could see the mountains all around Chapala Ajijic area. It was a truly beautiful place to live. Now, for a little extra money, you could go to the swimming pool. It was not an Olympic pool. It was a shallow pool, but it was large. And there was a clubhouse that you could rent out and have very large parties. To get into the swimming pool, you had to pay an additional 300 pesos per month. That's like $15 a month. And it was a beautiful swimming pool, and the clubhouse was very nice. Now, to live in a community like this, you do have to pay an annual fee. We were paying right around 14,000 pesos a year. That's like $700 a year. But I don't know how they work this out, because some people would pay $14,000 a month, and other people would have to pay maybe 19,000 pesos or $850 a month. And it was up to the president of the organization to decide who paid what. With your community fee, paid on an annual basis that would cover trash delivery. What else did that cover? Trash delivery and water. We never paid for water. That was included in the yearly fee. I'm going to say that 99.9% of my neighbors were wonderful people. We became to be family. We knew everyone across the street and behind our house, which is another story. But we knew everybody by their first names. We knew their children. We would get together for parties or for dinners or for breakfast. It was like a big family. Now, our place is just one gated community. There are several gated communities throughout Chapala, Ajijic. And I made many videos with Katie Ibarra, who's a realtor, and I'm going to put her contact information in the description below if you're looking to buy a property in a gated community. And they all vary. All of the annual fees vary. Some of them are super nice with really expensive homes, workout environments, exquisite clubhouses, and most of them have security. There are some gated communities that are only partially gated, and you have through traffic, so it's not really a secure environment. Now, in our situation, I don't know if this is a pro or a con, but in this very large environment with maybe 200, 300 homes, there are no shops, there are no restaurants. So if you wanted some milk or some cookies or a beer or something like that, you had to leave the environment. And in this case, if we went out one entrance, we could be at something like a 7-Eleven. It was about a 10-minute walk one way, or we could go out of the other entrance and there was another 7-Eleven about 10-minute walk away in that direction, and we could walk to a very large supermarket in about 15 minutes and take a taxi back. We had a car, so it was pretty easy for us to leave and come back. That cut that time down to about 2 minutes there, 2 minutes back. But if you don't have a car, and we did have many neighbors that did not have cars, then you would have to take a taxi to leave and come back. And taxis are very inexpensive. For me to go to the grocery store, it was like 50 pesos to get there. No, I would walk there and take a taxi back for 50 pesos or 40 pesos. That's $2 or $2.50. Let's talk about some of the cons. I lived in Puerto Vallarta for 10 years in about 3 or 4 locations. They were not gated communities, and I really liked it. I could leave the house, walk a block, a half a block, go to a restaurant, go to a store, go to a bar, or in Puerto Vallarta, I could walk a few blocks, I could be at the beach and see a whole lot of restaurants, see a lot of people, I could meet lots of people. It's not like that where we were living in a gated community. It's a very isolated experience. You're kind of like locked in to like this beaver, leave it to beaver environment. And I adapted to it, but now I'm not living there, and I realize that the environment didn't seem real. Let's talk about security. The first day we moved in, I met my neighbor, Doug. He was an American. He lived behind us. Doug was kind of a grumpy kind of guy, but he told me that his home had been broken into 5 times the first year he lived in his house. And he was very angry. He said that he complained to the management, and he said that the management didn't really do anything. We were robbed one time. Our neighbors across the street were robbed one time. Hey, please leave a comment. Tell us what you think. What do you like? What didn't you like? What videos do you want to see? And if you liked the video, please click the like button. We have many more videos to come, so you might want to consider clicking the subscribe button. Now I'm going to show you a drone shot from up above, and you're going to see a bunch of empty lots. This gated community that we lived in, they had a bunch of empty lots. They could build houses forever. And in 3 or 4 years, right across the street, right next door, they probably built about 10 houses. Okay, that may sound good, but that means from the workers work from 8 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night, Monday through Saturday. And so you hear all of the construction going on. Hammers, drills, people screaming and yelling. And what's worse is the music. The workers come in with their boom boxes, and at 8 o'clock in the morning, they turn up their music and they play it from 8 in the morning to 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Imagine that, Monday through Saturday. It was terrible. One of my neighbors, she couldn't stand the sound of weed whackers. And in a gated community like this, you hear weed whackers 8 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night, sometimes until 8 o'clock at night, Monday through Saturday. And it's that constant, man, somebody is having their grass cut all the time. Now, I work at home. I make videos. And right now, I'm kind of at a country house. And you might hear a car going by down the street over there. You might hear birds chirping. But where I was living, sometimes I couldn't work. I couldn't make videos because of the loud sound of construction or of the constant music that was being played all the time. Sometimes we would have to call security literally 10 to 20 times a day and tell them that the workers were playing their music so loud that we couldn't work. I teach classes online, and the music was so loud that my clients could hear the music in the background and I couldn't work. So in our gated community, at 8 o'clock in the morning, probably about 100 to 150 workers were coming through security, and you see them walking down the street with their boom boxes. Very nice people, very hard workers. But it was very annoying. There are rules about what you can do with your house. One of our neighbors wanted to paint her house purple. In fact, she painted her house purple. And then the president of the organization said, "You can't have a purple house." So she had to repaint it white. We had wonderful neighbors. We loved them very much. But many times they have parties. And these parties, they would come out of nowhere, and sometimes they would start around 10 o'clock at night, and they might go till 6 o'clock in the morning with really loud music, people singing really loud on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and it's so loud that you can't sleep. In this gated community, certain services we couldn't get. We could get, for internet, we could get Telmex, the major phone company. We could get Telcel, another major company. But for many internet services, the community did not want to allow these companies to come in and insert their wiring. So some of the best internet services we could not get because we lived in this community. Now, with Katie Ibarra, the realtor that I work with to make videos, and her contact is in the description below. And I've been into many gated communities in Ajijic and Chapala with Katie. And in all of these other gated communities, they didn't have any lots. They were like older gated communities, maybe 10, 15 years old. So all of the lots were full. So I don't think you would have that problem with construction. If you're thinking about owning in a gated community, or if you're thinking about renting in a gated community, check out, are there open lots within 1 block of the property that you want to buy or rent? If there are no open lots, then you won't have to go through these construction noises. Hey, we go live every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. That's Chicago time, Houston time. So you want to subscribe so you'll get a notification when we're going live, and join us. We have people from all over the world that talk about the joys of living in Mexico, and we answer lots of questions. Oh, now I did leave out one part about one security guard was robbing houses. He got caught stealing laptops and televisions out of a house. He's a security guard. Oh, and the security guards, they only make like 5,000 pesos a month. That's like $250 a month. I don't know how you live on $250 a month. Some of these security guards have like 3 kids. One security guard has been working there for 17 years. He has 3 or 4 kids. But anyway, I don't know how many of their security guards have been fired for stealing. So all in all, it was an okay experience. It depends on what you're looking for. It can be quiet sometimes, many times not. It can be safe many times, sometimes not. So, but I've been in many gated communities that are totally different, I think, from where I was living. So if you're going to check out a gated community, talk to the people that live there. See what they think. How do they interact with other people? Now, I've lived in Mexico for 17 years now. I've lived in Puerto Vallarta, Guadalajara, Chapala, and that's about it. I loved living in Guadalajara. It was not a gated community. I could leave the house, walk a half a block. I could be at a pharmacy. I could be at a grocery store. I could be at a fish market. I could be at 7-Eleven. I could be at the gasoline station in half a block. I could see lots of people. I could go into town. That's the way I like to live. I like to live in a pedestrian environment where I can walk to restaurants, where I can walk to the grocery. I like that. As long as my house is secure, my doors are good, my windows are good, I'm good to go. I like that situation. I'm going to say most of the gated communities that I have visited with Katie Ibarra, you're going to need a car. You can get into the environment. You're going to see some beautiful homes, some beautiful streets, great swimming pools, great facilities, but you're going to be isolated. There are no restaurants, no places to shop. You're going to need a car if you live in a gated community, or you just collect business cards of taxi drivers, so you always have an easy way to get out and a way to get back to where you're living. Thank you very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have many more to come. So if you liked the video, click the like button and click that subscribe button. We have many more videos to come. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video.